Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. I'm pretty much done with all of the current content in Hearthstone Mercenaries and yeah, that's kind of a bummer. What to do next? Other than, of course, now I can play the game without having anything new to achieve. But now that we have a little bit of experience on Blizzard's new content schedule with Mercenaries, I think that this content schedule with Mercenaries of those big Mercenaries drops is actually a mistake. And I don't really like this. Right now, for example, there's very little to do, and the next big Mercs patch is up to 2 months away still, so there won't be much to do for a very long time here. If you look at the new content that Mercenaries has received overall since its launch, well, now there was patch 24.0, which is Murder at Castle Nathria launch, and we got 2 Mercs. We have Sir Finley already available, then we get Kutun, but Kutun comes from the event, and this time the event is delayed by 2 weeks, so this even exacerbates the situation, because like now it's been so long since we had anything. 23.6 in July, 1 Mercenary, and the event. Mercenary was from the event. 23.4 at the turn of May and June, so more than 2 months ago, was the big patch. 18 mercenaries, 14 bounties, and event. That's a lot of content. 23.2 before that in May, 1 mercenary and the event. 23.0, the Voyage to Sunken City launch patch, that was one of the low points of mercenaries content. 1 mercenary, the reward struck mercenary, no event, no nothing. But before that, Blizzard had a different type of content schedule. 23.6, 7 Mercs, 6 bounties and event. 22.4, 5 Mercs, 6 bounties and event. 5 Mercs, 6 bounties, 4 Mercs, 4 bounties. So we got a steady amount of new mercenaries and new bounties every month before Blizzard decided, hey, we're actually going to change this. It's much more fun to drop a huge chunk of stuff at once. But now that we have experienced this, I think it's fairly comfortable to say that this is not working. Blizzard should really change this. One thing to note is that this new content schedule is also kind of hiding that we're getting less mercenaries content in some ways. In the whole 23 cycle, the Voyage to Sunken City cycle, we got 21 new mercenaries, we got 14 bounties, and we got 3 events. Whereas in the 22 cycle, the Fractured in Alterac Valley patch cycle, we got 21 mercenaries as well, but we got 22 bounties, and only 2 events. The events were started at that point. So we're down from 22 bounties for 4 months to 14 bounties for 4 months. They have cut the number of bounties by a third. But still, even this amount of content, what if this content was actually spread evenly so that we got a monthly patch for mercenaries? That would still mean roughly 5 mercs, 3 or 4 bounties, and hopefully 1 event. They haven't actually gotten to 4 events per 4 months yet, but it should be possible to get there now that the event system is rolling. And there are just so many advantages to doing it like this. First of all, to new mercenaries. Unlike with new cards, you get new cards in standard format and then you start playing with those new cards. But you get new mercenaries in Mercs and you just have to do some work first. You have to upgrade those mercenaries, then you get to start testing them in comps and work on them. And now that we get a huge chunk of mercenaries at once, no one has the time or the opportunity to just get them all into playable shape at once and actually really start to experiment with them properly. So if we got Mercs in smaller batches, like for example we could have gotten Nagas in a single patch, we could have gotten Explorers in another patch. If the new Mercs were grouped thematically like this, people would be able to upgrade them better, and then they would be actually able to experiment with them more thoroughly before then the next batch of Mercs comes. So even though the number of Mercs released would be exactly the same, that would actually give people things to do for a longer period of time. Spreading the content out more would also give players more reasons to log in, because right now you get that huge batch of content and you do a lot of stuff for a month, and then there's 3 months of pretty much nothing. But also, as we saw with the last big batch of Mercs and bounties, bugs. There were so many bugs, pretty much everything was bugged. And because there were so many bugs to fix at once, it has taken Blizzard several months to fix those, and not all of them are still fixed. Several months after, you just can't release live content and then not fix bugs in it for 3 months. That is not the way it works. You just can't do that. Well, apparently Blizzard can, but they shouldn't do that. So if they gave us smaller quantities of Mercs and bounties at once, then once those bugs on those bounties and Mercs are revealed, because we are the beta testers after all, that's Blizzard content philosophy right there nowadays. Blizzard used to be known for that polish, you know. But nowadays they're known for using their customers as their beta testers. Well, be that as it may, we are the beta testers who are paying for the privilege, and then they would actually be able to answer our reports and fix those bugs instead of fixing some and then fixing some and fixing some and having backlog 3 months after content is live. Also, they said that Mercs is going to be given its moment to shine for this big Mercs thing, but that's really not working at all, because the big Mercs patch is the same patch as the standard format mini set. Yeah, try to shine there, outshine the mini set. Yeah, that's not going to work at all. Okay, so for that one you could potentially move Mercs to X.6 patches. X.0 is the new expansion, X.2 is Battlegrounds, X.4 is mini set, X.6 could be Mercs. But even that is not very good, because then that's so close to the next expansion already. And if you drop a huge bunch of Mercs stuff at that patch, then Mercs players will be exhausted by the time the new expansion comes. It just isn't that great either. So I really cannot find any upsides to Blizzard's decision to just lump all of the Mercs stuff into very rare patches and just make it so much harder to enjoy the content, make it so much harder to actually experiment with the content when it's new, reducing the reasons for people to log into the game, struggling to fix all of the bugs, then also, a personal thing for me, exhausting the content creators, because there's a new big Mercs patch, I work like crazy for a month, 0 free time, and then I have no Mercs content that I can do for the other 3 months or so. So that's just really stupid. And also looking at the competition, all the competing products are just getting content out there for players all the time, giving people reasons to play their games. And okay, Blizzard is very slow. Slow is really the word that describes Blizzard. And okay, Blizzard is slow. Blizzard cannot compete with the cadence that their competition is putting out. And also they are tied into the Hearthstone batch cadence because they chose to include mercenaries in the Hearthstone client. And the Hearthstone batch cadence is 1 patch per month. But that's not necessarily a problem, because we are seeing what actually could work very well now that they released the Khotun event. And the Khotun event is released like 3-week delay from the patch. And yeah, they could do that. They could give us a patch that gives us Mercs and gives us Bounties, accessible immediately. Then they could announce an event, and the event could be delayed by 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks we get the event, and then 2 weeks from there we get another patch, new Mercs, new Bounties, and another event is included in that patch. So thanks to delays to events, they could actually turn this Hearthstone 1-month developer cadence into a 2-month customer-facing content cadence. So they could give us content at more regular intervals than the Hearthstone batch cycle does. There are no good reasons for the way Blizzard is doing these things, and this is really reducing the interest in Mercs. Mercs Discord is much more quiet now because there just isn't that much to talk about, there just isn't that much to do. And even if they just spread out the content that they are already creating more evenly for players to access, that would already help give players more things to do with the same amount of content. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out some things to do with mercenaries while waiting for the Khotun event, and of course doing the Khotun event guides when the Khotun event comes, and then after that we'll see how long it takes before we get anything new again. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.